Guys, there are massive new changes to FPL and I'm here to tell you about every single one of them. This is the biggest update FPL has had in ages. And by the way, my hair's not greasy, I just had a shower. Anyway, I'm just going to get straight into it. First one, I'm going to talk about the most exciting one. It's going to be extra transfers for your FPL teams, okay? What do I mean by that? Basically, in the past, you've always been able to save up to 2 free transfers, 1 game week. You don't need to make the transfer. You sat there on 2 free transfers and you kind of just force yourself to make one because you don't want to waste a transfer because there's times where you really need them. Well, guys, I'm here to let you know you can now stack up to 5 free transfers. You can basically get yourself a mini wildcard. People will probably never need this once in their entire lives, even in 10 years of playing. But it is quite a cool gimmick and it just allows a lot more freedom because there will be times where you need to save up 3, where you want to save up 4. It's basically making your planning a lot more flexible and it's going to change the way a lot of experts think, I believe. I mean, I'm not one of them, but here's how I could imagine maybe something going. You go into game week 1, you've got so much time to plan for game week 1. Why can't you plan a perfect team from game week 1 to game week 6, then save up 5 free transfers to use pretty much a mini wildcard on? This is good for 2 reasons. Reason number 1, you can suss out the must-have players, the players you want in your team, the players with good fixtures. Reason number 2, you can make loads of changes without needing to use your wildcard chip. You can just use your mini wildcard with your 5 free transfers. It's insanely useful if you want to do something like that. Or if you get later on in the season, you can use your wildcard and set your team up for the next 3 or 4 game weeks where you don't need a transfer, providing where there's no injuries, fingers crossed. And you can use another mini wildcard then. It just opens up many more avenues and many more ways to play the game. And a lot of people have been wanting this for a while. It's not a change I expected, but it's a good change. Guys, I'm curious to know, what do you all think about this one? Is it good? Is it bad? Let me know. I, for one, don't see many drawbacks. And guys, I'm not even going to tell you what this new chip is. And it's not because I'm a knobhead, it's because I don't actually know. In fact, no one actually knows what this new chip is. It's called a mystery chip, and it's not actually going to be added / revealed or usable until January 2025. People are speculating it maybe could be an old chip from way back in the past before I started playing, called the all-out attack chip, which basically allowed you to play a 2 at the back formation. And they removed it because it was an awful chip and it was so useless. So I really doubt the mystery chip is going to be anything like that. I can imagine it would be something they trialed in the FPL challenge, maybe forward score double points. I can imagine it's going to be a chip that's different every single year, keeps the game fresh, keeps it fun. These are definitely the 2 biggest changes, and alone they make FPL a lot more exciting than it has been in a while. Not that it's been bad in the past, but it's just going to get a lot better. The next little addition to the game is something I've been preaching for a little while actually. So I'm glad this change is coming in. It's not even a big change, probably a change that won't even affect what happens the next FPL season, but goalkeepers are no longer getting only 6 points for a goal. They were always on the same points for a goal as defenders, which I thought was really stupid. It's finally becoming 10 points per goal, which is awesome. I mean, it's probably never going to happen, and it's like the least skill-based part of the game. Like your goalkeeper score, and you didn't plan for that, unless you have a goalkeeper that's on penalties, which will probably never exist. But I can imagine if there is a goalkeeper out there on penalties, it will now be the most owned player FPL has ever had. Another chip getting added is a new pitch design, and along with the new design, it's actually made stats, things like that, a lot more accessible on player profiles. They're taking the design from FPL Challenge basically, and now they're putting it into the actual Fantasy Premier League game. This is good for people that are just doing free to play. You're not paying for any of them like subscriptions where you can look at stats and everything. While these FPL stats are good, they're not going to be as accurate as the ones people pay for, but it's still going to be a lot more useful for those free to play players. Like I said, they can actually use some data instead of just taking advice from different influencers. They can actually make their own mind up, which I think is a really good addition to the game. There is another new change coming to FPL. There's a couple more we need to go through. The next one is the bonus point system. Guys, the bonus point system is being changed. If you don't know what bonus points are and you're kind of new to the game, basically the top 3 scoring players in the bonus point system score bonus points for their FPL in a match. You can get 3 points, 2 points, or 1 point. And normally it's just 3 players, but sometimes there's tied points and more players are given bonus points. Basically, if you don't understand, then I'm sorry, I'm not good at explaining things. The bonus point system basically decides who gets the bonus points at the end of the game. And there's loads of different factors involved in it. Maybe it's conceding a goal, maybe it's conceding a foul, maybe it's giving away a foul. But yeah, there's loads of different things which decide who gets the highest bonus points. And it's not always been based off who's the best player of the match, like I think it was intended to. But now there's slightly different changes are being added to the bonus point system, which could influence who gets the most bonus points. I'm not talking about it in detail here, but FPL has listed the changes. So if you are an FPL tryhard and you can kind of decipher what this means and who's going to be favoured more, feel free to let us know. From my judgment, I believe it's the forwards that are going to be favoured the most in all of this, but I could be wrong. We'll see how it pans out. But yeah, this is like one of the less interesting changes. The final change is actually some pretty sad news. There's going to be less double game weeks and there's going to be less blank game weeks, and they're also going to be smaller, which is kind of sad because, you know, towards the end of the season, I live for these double game weeks, I live for these blank game weeks, and they're just getting smaller. This is because the schedule in football is a little different. Normally it's to do with FA Cup getting in the way of everything. Now in this new schedule, the only things that really get in the way of Premier League fixtures, unless there's a postponement, is the League Cup final and the FA Cup semi-finals. Everything else is no longer affecting what's going to happen with FPL. So I can imagine chip strategies are going to be affected by this. People that waste their chips early on may not be wasting them so much anymore, more just using them early, because there may not be a chance for you to use your free hit or your bench boost or your triple captain in a good double game week. And there's also changes coming to FPL Challenge, which was kind of a dud last season. Maybe they'll make FPL Challenge fun this year, but I don't know. They haven't said anything on it yet. Anyway, guys, that just about does it for this video. I'm trying to hit 1K subs before the end of the FPL season, so if you could help me out, that would be greatly appreciated. And if you could also follow the TikTok, the Instagram, the Twitter, you know, much love. Anyway, guys, thank you very much for watching. If you made it this far, leave a like. And yeah, I will see you in the next video.